Hello, everybody. I keep waking up at weird times in the evening. It's now 2:30 in the morning, walked my dog, and I have the following to say about karmic law in the universe. I already know that I'm not going to get this dreaded plague because a long time ago I had some very strange dreams about the end of the world. And in every single dream I ever had, I always got the clear message that I would be fine. Nothing bad would happen. I would hold out. I would survive. I would be fine. I'm going to be fine. I am fine. I will be fine. Um, Now, here's something interesting that I wanted to tell all of you who don't know me very well. I never got to meet either of my grandparents from either side of my family because both my parents were orphans when they were only about 9 or 10 years old. Actually, my mom was an orphan by age 3. Um, my grandparents from my mother's side of the family escaped Ukraine in Kiev. They were both Jewish and they were Ukrainian Jews. And they left the Ukraine right around 1932, I guess, or 19, maybe the beginning of 1933. And while my grandmother was giving birth to my mom, there were some terrible complications during the pregnancy. And my grandmother was forced to undergo a cesarean section, and she ended up dying during the cesarean section. So my mother's middle name was Cesarina. Now, my grandparents moved from the Ukraine to Sao Paulo, Brazil. And so my mother was of Brazilian descent, born in Brazil, but Ukrainian background. So after my grandmother died, my mother was raised by her older sister and her father. But then my grandfather ended up being murdered while he was taking a taxi to go to the bank with money. He was robbed. He was killed, murdered in cold blood by the cab driver, and supposedly his body was never found. So I'm just trying to say, you can't escape your destiny. If you're meant to die, you will die. If you're meant to live, you're going to live. I don't like the fact that we're being enforced in this strict quarantine. This may not do anything to help anyone, prevent whatever it is that we're supposed to be receiving as part of our karmic debt. I don't know why my grandparents left my mother an orphan, but I do know that probably my mother was raised by her older sister, knowing that her older sister may have resented her because she lost her mother. Because my mother was born. I have no idea about the exact dynamics of the relationship, but I do know that when my mother left Brazil at the age of 22, there was no looking back. And she didn't really have any close ties to her family, but she definitely did send them money, even though I grew up marginally poor, lower middle class. And then, as fate would have it, I bought a condo in 2005 against my better judgment and intuition, and was forced by Cook County to give up my condo because of the work I do and because my neighbors harassed me and reported me to the alderman in Wicker Park that I'm a terrible human being, which I'm not. I like the work I do. I'm very proud of it. And then I also ended up losing my parents' family home because when I went abroad to, travel with my pets, I left my family home with my cousin's ex-boyfriend, and it was a disaster, a mess, because my renters never left. The home wasn't even established under my legal name, technically, by my mother's lawyer. And even though my mother left me the home, it wasn't under my legal name. So no one could help me get back the home when I needed it the most. And I was forced to sell the home. So, haha, joke's on me, right? So, all I have to say is the following: whatever karma we each have, it's going to happen regardless. If you're meant to live, you're going to live. If you're meant to die, you're going to die. You really can't escape your karma. And all I really want to do is work my little butt off because I don't want to lose my furniture and storage. And I don't want to go poor and broke to the point where I don't even have a real place to live. And that's all I care about right now. I think that the quarantine is not going to help. I don't think that it's going to prevent anybody from catching something that they might be meant to have as a karmic lesson. And I don't believe that people are going to escape their karma at this point. I wish we could just carry on as normal, keep our spirits up, work. The people who are healthy should be working. People who have compromised immunity, like we're talking about people who have underlying health issues, like maybe a chronic heart congenital problem, or maybe people who perhaps have diabetes and or asthmatic episodes, weak heart, weak lungs. Those people definitely should be quarantined and given something productive to do by the government so that they can still earn money and keep their spirits up and still be quarantined. And the rest of us who should be given tests and who might test negative for the virus should continue on as normal. I wish we could all have some free kits sent to us. It would be outstanding if the government wanted to incur that expense and finally clear away all our doubts and all this negativity so that we could work and have something positive to look forward to, like a dinner out or a movie out. But those are my thoughts. Those are my ideas. I'm not a politician. Um, so that's all I wanted to say. I'm saying all this because it's about karma. I do believe in the wheels of karma, cosmic consciousness, universal law, and I think that this quarantine is not going to be the answer. Good night.